Let's do some scripting now. Who's got a good topic that they've dealt with lately that they want to go through? Nate, you are most prepared because you've got that awesome chair that you can lean forward in. So you want to be an agent or you want to be the lead?
Either.
All right. Try and be something difficult and I'll call you. Ring, ring.
I'm the client. Okay.
See what we can do.
Hello.
Hey, this is Nate.
Yeah.
Hey,
Who's
Nate.
this?
This is Doug with the Oceaneer Realty. How are you today?
Great.
Great. Hey, I can tell by the tone of your voice, you probably weren't waiting for me to call, so I'll be short. Every time someone, go ahead.
Well, every time I have to go on Zillow, in order for me to look at the houses, I have to put my information in. You guys make me put it in.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very common thing. It's so we can reach out to you and provide some value if you're looking to actually do something. If you're not, last thing we want to do is bother you. Are you planning on doing something?
Eventually.
What's eventually mean? That can be something different for everybody.
Well, I'm retiring in about 3 years. So I'm kind of looking in a few different places, Myrtle Beach, Topsail Island, and even the Outer Banks. So I'm just trying to narrow it down.
Well, what do you do now?
I am in the garbage business.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm up in the office. So I started off, on the trucks and worked my way up.
Fantastic. So you've been with the company for a long time.
Yeah.
Are you located in our area now or are you somewhere else?
I'm in northern New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Have you spent a lot of time down here? Do you have family here or is it just something you kind of picked?
We come down every other summer.
Where do you stay?
We've been all up and down the coast, Outer Banks. I think Topsail is kind of one of our favorite places.
Well, we're located just inland from Topsail in Holly Ridge. That's where our coast office is. So we can certainly help you if you're looking in the Topsail area. Now, if you're looking at Outer Banks, I know some great agents up there. If you're looking at Myrtle Beach, I know some great agents down there. But personally, and I'm biased, but I don't think there's a better value for beach properties than Topsail Island. What would you say about that based on what you've been looking at online?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really know. We're just in the beginning phases, so I haven't, really considered diving that far into it right now. I'm just kind of looking at, what houses are, running for in the market. I'm not in any kind of hurry.
Sure. Well, a lot of people that we start out with are just dipping their toes in the water, kind of get a feel for what they could get for their money. What is it that you think you would be looking for when you make the move?
At least a 4-bedroom. It doesn't have to be, waterfront, but I want it to be within at least, short walking distance.
Short walking distance to beach access or water access?
Yeah. But I don't, I want to be kind of close to some like restaurants and stuff like that, but I don't want it to be overly crowded.
Well, that's one of the great things I love about Topsail Island in general is it's primarily residential. There is a small business center kind of located right at the heart of Surf City where the high-rise bridge is, and there's a good amount of restaurants there and just inland from the bridge. But otherwise, there's not a lot of business on the island. It's very quiet.
Yeah, we looked at a couple of houses down there one time, the last time we were down there.
Okay. So had you already been talking with an agent about things down here, or was that just something you bounced around and did?
No, we just drove around and looked at them.
When you say 4 bedrooms, is that single family only? Are you interested in townhomes, condos?
I don't want anything to do with the condos. Townhomes maybe, but not the condos.
Understood. The HOAs can be cost prohibitive and kind of a pain, especially at the beach. So I can understand where you're coming from for that. What would you say the budget is you have in mind?
Under 5.
Under 5? Okay, well, I think that's probably doable. Let me do this. Your email address is blah, blah, blah at Gmail.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put together a quick search in our area here since you're just exploring. And I'm going to send you some homes that fit the parameters we just talked about. I'd love to get some feedback from you. So expect those later this afternoon. I'm going to check back in a day or two if I don't hear from you. Feel free just to reply directly to those emails. But again, if I don't, I'll give you another quick call and just take your temperature on what you think about what you're seeing. And we'll continue to stay in touch as you think about moving down this way.
All right. Sounds good.
You got any questions for me?
No, thank
All
you.
right. Well, it was great to talk with you, Nate. Have a good afternoon.
All right.
Nate likes to be the hard ass. He does a good job.
I didn't think that was very difficult.
No, I mean, it wasn't. It's just your tone and inflection, right?
Have you ever talked to people from New Jersey?
Well, I mean, you're from Florida and you sound like that. So let's not blame New Jersey. Any feedback, though? Thoughts? I mean, what could I have done better, differently? What would you have done different, Brandon?
I think you got a lot of info from someone that didn't want to talk to you at all. So that was helpful. When someone's like that, get what you can get and then set the stage for getting back on the phone with them shortly. If you don't hear from them and get a reason to call back and get a search set up. That was good.
One thing I tried to do was divert away from real estate as soon as possible. And that's why I asked him about his job and what he does. By the way, I watched an episode of Unsolved Mysteries last night, and it was about this guy getting found in a landfill in New Jersey. So Nate probably had something to do with it.
I assume Nate stole a script from The Sopranos and he thought he was in the mob.
All right. Any other feedback?
I mean, I would just kind of, I think you did great as far as like going to rapport and kind of getting off, trying to sell something right away. And I know we don't have to get the whole thing LP Mammal in the first go around, but kind of going back to the Tom Ferry thing we did, I would have asked like, hey, has anybody ever talked to you about the potential of a short-term rental where you could buy this, pay it down, and then, in a few years, that's, that much less of a mortgage payment that you have.
I think that's a great approach to take. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't think like that as far as the beach goes, because I don't talk to people about beach properties like that. But hell, that can apply to up here. Brandon sold one in Chapel Hill a couple months ago for somebody who's moving down here eventually, but he saw the value in buying now, right? So that's a great idea, especially if they visit regularly. Hey, go ahead and buy it. You can use it until you're ready to move and then rent it the rest of the time.
And especially throw in the interest rates. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Interest rates now are this. So
Absolutely.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Right. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you shift your monitor because your head is cut off right in the middle of your forehead? It's just a little weird. Thank you. Because you're leaning in on your chair. You're so close. That's a great point, Nate. I really like that. We need to for that one. Your tether's too short. All right. Who's got another one, or who's got any other feedback on that? Meredith, what do you think about that?
I like the point that you diverted from real estate pretty quickly when you got the sense that he didn't really want to talk to you. So you asked him about something personal, so then you could kind of warm him up a little bit before you start asking more real estate questions. Yeah.
I think I'm a big fan of taking the elephant out of the room right away when you hear that tone in their voice. Like, these people are calling me. I'm not interested in talking to anybody. Hey, that's fine. Last thing I want to do to bother you. But hey, if you're serious about something, let's talk, because I'm here to do it for you. Last thing I want to do is talk on the phone to people that don't want to talk to me. I'll let you go. But if you want to make something happen, let's talk about how you can do it. What else? Anybody else? I've had 3 cups of coffee, so I'm jittery. My energy level is blah, blah, blah. So who else has got something? Janine, you're up. On the spot.
I'll go with her.
Okay, cool.
Janine, are you the buyer or the agent?
Brandon, you be the lead. Janine, you be the agent.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Brandon?
Yes, ma'am. Who is this?
Hey, Brandon, this is Janine with the Oceanair Realty. How are you?
I'm doing great. I hope you are.
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking. Hey, I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I just always like to take a minute, say hello, and introduce myself. I saw where you signed up on my website to start your home search in the Wilmington area, and I wanted to let you know that there's a human on the other side of the computer ready to help. What can I do for you?
Cool. I appreciate you calling me. I've registered on a couple sites. I'm from the area originally. My wife and I are thinking we might want to get back down there sometime soon. So I just kind of like to stay abreast of what homes cost and whatnot.
Well, that's definitely understandable. What are you thinking about your time frame for making a move back this way?
I really don't know. That's a good question. I think maybe if we saw something, we would get serious on it, but we don't really have a time frame in mind.
No sweat. Most people I work with aren't ready to purchase right away, but I like to tell people that I'll be here when you're ready. If that's today, tomorrow, 2 months from now, or 2 years from now, I'm not going anywhere. So kind of tell me, what do you love about your house right now? Are you looking for something completely different, exactly the same?
Yeah, well, so we live in Durham now. Like I said, we'd like to be in the Wilmington area. She kind of wants to be at the beach, but I'm not sure I want to pay that much for insurance and whatnot. So maybe a happy medium, although I would probably give in if we could find what she wanted to make her happy. Our house is about 2,100 square feet. It's probably too big by about 300 or 400 square feet. I don't need any of that. We've got hardwoods throughout. We don't have any carpet. I don't want any carpet at all. 2-story now, I would actually prefer a ranch, but if not, a 2-story with a master bedroom on the first floor. If we move down there, it would probably be for the long haul. And I want some privacy too. I'm looking for at least half an acre at a minimum.
Okay, well, this is all really good information for me to get started with. Now, are you guys going to need to sell your home in order to buy when the time comes in Durham?
We don't have to, but we would sell it.
Okay, so when you say you don't have to, does that mean this is going to be a cash purchase for you?
No, it wouldn't be a cash purchase. I'd probably what I would do is we could afford to put enough down to get the house we wanted. And then once we were able to move, I would sell my current house and then we'd do a recast loan and change our monthly mortgage payment down
Oh,
there.
you're up to speed. Sounds like you got all your ducks in a row. That's really awesome. Okay, well, is there a price point I shouldn't exceed in the search that I set up for you then?
I really don't have any desire to go past like 550.
Okay. I think that in the Wilmington area, that's definitely doable. I will get a search started for you since you're kind of unsure of your time frame. What's helpful though is if you, I did hear you say that, if something did check all the boxes and look good, you would, be able to be in a position to move a little bit quicker. So the thing that's good about the website that I've got set up is that the listings will come to you and you can stay abreast of the market. You're not going to see anything that's pending or has gone under contract. If it's newly listed or has had a price reduction, you'll be able to see that come through there. And if you see something that looks good and you want more information on it, you can communicate right through the website and I can, definitely answer any questions that you might have. And if you guys have any plans to head this way anytime soon, I'd love to put a face to a name.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate you calling me.
Of course. I thank you so much for your time. And just before we hang up, I want to make sure that I've got the right contact information. Is your email xyz@gmail.com? Is that the best one?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sometimes with Gmail, the accounts, these listings can sometimes go to the junk or spam mail. So if you don't see them pop, within your email within the hour, be sure to check those folders as well. How often do you want these emails to come to you? I can set them up, daily, weekly, once a month.
I think, I'm fine with every day. I might not open it every day, but it's fine. I can
Sounds
delete it
good.
if I don't want to see it.
So what I'll do is check back in a couple weeks, see how those listings are doing for you, if they're meeting your needs and your criteria, and if we need to make any adjustments, we'll do so at that time. I look forward to helping you with your search in the Wilmington area. And one thing I do have to ask you legally, I know it sounds kind of weird, but before we hang up, are you currently working with any other real estate agent for your home search?
Not at the moment.
Okay, sounds good. I look forward to helping with you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Janine, I almost blew you up with that, but you didn't answer, or you didn't ask. If you hadn't asked, I was going to say, well, my brother's an agent, which is kind of how I know what I'm talking about. So should I put you in touch with him? But I didn't do that. I was glad that you asked. I love how you always end the call with confirming the right information. I think that is so important because sometimes people register with a throwaway email knowing that they don't want to get any spam emails. But if you have a good conversation with them, they'll give you the real email address that they really want you to
Yep.
talk to them with or communicate through. And also, I can't remember if you did this or not, but if not, you almost did the same thing. I always, what's the best way? You want me to call? Do you prefer me to text?
Right.
I thought your questions were really good. Really, the only thing that I would have done, I think, differently is if I was having a conversation with someone and they start talking about, well, I don't have to sell to buy, I'll just sell my house and do a recast loan. To me, that would kind of be like, well, you've done this before, or a good bit. Tell me a little bit more about that. What's your experience? Obviously.
Yeah, so I kind of dodged that because I'm not familiar with what the heck you were talking about. So I was like, oh God, I'm going to get sideways here. But maybe it was an opportunity for a door to open and learn something. So
Okay.
I
So
literally just Googled it.
well, we'll talk about it real
Paid
quick.
attention. That's great.
We'll talk about it real quick because I think it's helpful for people. Sometimes if you've got someone who thinks they can sell or doesn't think they have to sell to buy. So with a recast mortgage, most lenders, as long as you put down, obviously it's lender specific, but most lenders, if you put down $10,000 or more dollars at one time in a lump sum payment, they will re-amortize your entire monthly mortgage payment. So your payment gets nuked, right? If you sold a house and you rolled $80,000 of equity and you threw that all down at once, it would completely change your payment. Your interest rate wouldn't change, but they will re-amortize your entire payment schedule for the remaining term of the loan, right? So that's a great way. If you've got someone who, we've got some pretty good savings. We think we might not have to sell to buy. Well, let's win this house and you put 3.5% down. And then you can sell your house and 6 months later, you can either refinance if rates are better, or you can just do a re-amortization and roll all of your equity into your monthly mortgage payment. That's a good way to help people win a home if they don't have to sell, but don't want to do the contingency or whatever. But I think that's a good opportunity, Janine, to ask. So you know a lot about this. Tell me what your experience buying or selling is, or do you know an agent, or how do you know this? Have you done this before? That may help you kind of ascertain how experienced your client is.
For sure. Good point.
Don't forget, we've also got Ribbon as a resource for people who want to do something like that. If they need to sell their home, but they're in a tough market and need to buy, Ribbon can help them buy if they're approved. And then basically they rent it from Ribbon, or they pay a fee for Ribbon until they're able to close on their house. So it's kind of almost like a bridge loan kind of thing. And we can talk about that more, but just remember that quiver or that arrow is out there in your quiver for people who need to sell to buy in a very competitive market. I love how you used his language back to him. You said abreast. I want to keep you abreast. I think it's important that you mirror people. That's the same thing as acknowledge and asking, right? It's so important that people understand that you're listening to them, and there's no better way to do that than use their exact language back to them. So that's really key. One thing I would say, and these aren't criticisms, this is just my approach, I wouldn't ask them if they want anything more than a daily, like further out, because I don't want them to get them monthly. I would wait.
Even if people are like, oh, I'm 2 years out.
Because here's the thing, their search might not come daily anyways, because it's only going to come if new things hit the market that meet their criteria.
Okay.
Janine, my fear with that is if I send you an email once a month, and you have this conversation now and 25 days goes by and they don't hear from you, they may see a Facebook ad for another house or something like, they might register on someone else's website and have a great conversation and they lock them in every day. You may lose them that way. Or they may just forget who the hell you are. I mean, how many times have you had a conversation with someone where you thought it was pretty good and you did your to-do to call them back the next time?
And then they have
finally
another
give them
house.
And they're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Well, that's because
I mean-
we didn't keep in touch good enough with them.
I think it's a double-edged sword, to be honest with you. And I think it's situational dependent, because if you have someone that is maybe a little bit hostile and they're telling you like, hey, I'm 3 years out,
Yeah.
and you start and they're like, hey, there's no need to call me, and you're sending them stuff daily, there's a good chance that they're just going to unsubscribe, and they've already told you not to call them. So now where's that going to go? It's going to go to the trash.
Right.
So I think some cases, I usually make like a kind of look, I don't want to clog up your email. So what I'll do is I can set it to twice a month or once a month, which would you prefer? And I think that kind of shows them that, you're listening to what they're telling you. But I mean, again, I think if you just automatically leave it on daily, you run the risk of them just saying, see ya.
I think it's definitely situational. Specifically, the reason I said I wouldn't do it in this situation is because he said if one pops up, I'd be ready to move. I don't want somebody like that getting a monthly e-alert or even.
Absolutely.
So yeah, with pretty much everything we talk about, it does come down to the relationship that you feel like you're having with the person that you're talking to. And a lot of being successful in this is figuring that out a lot sooner than later, right? One thing I don't want you guys to do and want to make sure you're not doing is you're not asking permission so people can tell you no, rather steering them towards the best practice. Hey, I'm going to do this based on your time frame. Hey, since you said if the right one popped up, I want to make sure you're seeing things as they pop up. So I'll set the alert daily, but that doesn't mean you're going to get something every day. You're going to get something as things hit the market that meet XYZ criteria. Likewise, hey, yeah, I know you're 1, 2, 3 years out. So I'm just going to make sure you're seeing what's popping on the market that hits your criteria once a week, so you're not inundated, things like that. But remember, take control, drive the ship. Don't ask for permission. Tell them what you're going to do because you're still providing value, but let them know what you're going to do.
I think that if you've got those archives that are just like, you can't connect, you haven't, no good number, they're not opening emails, then I'll change like the frequency down on the EO.
If I don't get responses, I'm moving people to instant because I either want to hear no or yeah, I'm ready. I'm going the other way. And I've even started because I've got my lead flow on like a drip.
Yeah.
And when I mean drip, I mean like I'm getting 2 leads a week. I'm putting my qualifies on instant because I want to hear from you. I'm just testing it to see what happens. I want a response.
Okay.
I'd rather hear no sooner. I don't think I'm going to run serious people off by doing it that way.
I actually think that's a really good idea for archive people.
Archive.
Oh yeah,
If you got
archive.
someone you've never talked to, what do you got to lose? Put it on every 10 minutes. If that was an option, let them tell you, knock it off, or I've got a pulse. I'm just busy with life. I can't do this yet. To Nate's point, Nate, you're absolutely right. I do agree. It's clearly situational. If a guy's on there and he wants to be a red ass and you know that he's not going to want to hear from you every day, that's one thing. But it's also a good opportunity when you make that second call a couple days later. How you like the search I got you set up on? I've been emailing you every day. Is that too much? Then that's another conversation you can have by which to gauge how serious they are with their timeline. I do agree with you though, for sure.
For sure. My question is, Doug,
Yeah.
I've been with the firm for almost 2 years, and this is the first time I've ever heard you say that. That could have been useful.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard him say that too. Because on the drip, the to-do.
Well, I just started it. Honestly, I haven't been doing it that long
Okay.
because I just had like a moment a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Why the hell not?"
Would you say an epiphany?
I didn't say epiphany, but that's what it was. Tiffany, have you ever had an epiphany? I just like the alliteration.
Oh dear
Sorry.
God.
God.
I just got a text from a guy who's been on Qualify for like 2 weeks. Stop texting this number. Great. Now I don't have to keep deleting those to-dos.
Now I know.
That's so rewarding.
That's right. A no is almost as good as a yes.
Hell yeah.
Remember
dump
that,
your ass in the
Meredith, I think
trash.
that is so important for you to hear when you start getting on leads. When someone says no, great. I don't have to waste my time and energy on you anymore. That's more time and energy I can spend on everyone else,
And
right?
it'll get you to the yes quicker.
That's right.
Exactly
Put so
right.
many people
That
in
is
trash
so
this weekend.
important. It's so important to hear that and make peace with that on the front end before you're a month into this. You're like, everyone's telling me no. Yeah, they are.
They are.
Keep going. It's a numbers
They
game.
are.
You get
I
there.
mean, don't try to get people to say no. Don't be like, hey,
Yeah.
are you gonna buy a house or not? Oh,
You
okay.
ready to
well,
buy right
no.
now?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I checked, this guy has been on the site for 14 days. If he didn't want help, why did he wait 14 days? He got messages from me the very first day. So, I mean, knock, knock. Do you want me to come in or not? I've got other houses to knock, right? Just let me know.
That
And
is,
that's part of it. Get that thick skin, get it out there, let people know, hey, I'm here to help. You don't want it, fine. I don't need to sell you a house. I want to help you if you want help. That's all. You started this, not me.
yeah. I would say that is probably one of the most frustrating things when you're starting out is just trying to connect with people, and then you do, and then they like drop you and ghost you and you don't know how to respond, and you just like, okay, I'm moving on. And then they come back and they say, you're just like wondering in your head, well, why the hell? What you could have told, like, I don't care what the reason is or what you got going on. Just give me something so I can figure out how I need to structure how I deal with you.
A no is infinitely better than
Then
nothing.
nothing.
And I mean,
Yes.
but that's why we built the drips that way.
Yeah.
If people don't respond, that's not on us. We're very upfront about, hey, we're here, we want to help you. But if you don't want help, let us know.
Yeah.
Because sales is about relationship, and salesmen get a bad rep for making cold calls, and nobody likes a cold call. I get cold calls, right? Brandon, I got a realtor lead 2 days ago, and it was a guy trying to sell me advertising. And I used your approach from that one Zillow lead you got not long ago. Hey, I pay for these. If you want to sell me something, pick up the phone and call me. Don't act like you're a lead coming in, jackass, right? But that's not what we're doing to people.
That's
We're
right.
not cold calling anybody.
Meredith, I think
You
that's
don't have that
so
mindset.
important. That's right. We are salespeople by definition, but we're really not. We're not. It's not like we knock on a door. Do you want to buy Encyclopedia Britannica? You want to buy a house. I'm just going to help you facilitate it. So in that nature, you're not in sales. So I think that's really important to remember too, as you're making these calls. And if you get someone who's difficult, listen, Doug, I've started doing what Doug says. I think it's so important. Take the elephant out of the room. Listen, I get it. You didn't expect me to call, but the reality is you put your phone number into my website. So I'm assuming you'd like some help or some information. So I don't want to be an annoyance, but if I can be a resource for you, I'd love to. What can I do?
Boom.
If they blow you off, you don't have to call me in.
Right. Trash them. That's 18 less to-dos you're going to have to deal with over the next 2 weeks.
But at the same time, the Boomtown data shows that it typically takes 7 phone calls before you get a lead engaged. So unless they're just straight up jerks the first time, keep trying to get some information from them.
And always set the expectation that you're going to hear from me again. Even when you leave that message in that first call and you start the qualified drip, in that voicemail, hey, I'm going to follow up with an email and a text over the next few days, and I'm going to call back if I hadn't heard from you. So let me know what's going on. Don't let them think, okay, I avoided this one and they're never going to bother me again.
That's a
And then
good
I'm gonna
point. I
call
don't
you
do that on
again.
the first call. Do you do that, Nate, on the first call?
What's that?
What he just said?
As far as letting
On the
them know what
first
I'm going to be
voicemail.
doing?
Yeah.
I would say I'm not consistent with it.
I
I do it sometimes. I typically for my first phone call, I do different things.
Yeah.
And hey,
I mean,
try
let's be
different
honest.
things,
How many
right?
people are actually checking voicemails?
I mean, I've got voicemail texts, so I can read which is fantastic.
Wow, really?
So who knows? But the thing about that is they don't hear your inflection. They don't, they can't hear your tone and your approach and all that. I think you're better served to set the expectation. Hey, I'm going to continue to follow up until we connect.
And that's what the drip says too. I'm going to reach out every day, right?
Yeah. You're going to continue to hear from me until we have
Yeah.
a chance to have a conversation, because I want to help you accomplish your goals.
And then I'm gonna knock on your door.
Beat your ass down.
I went to the real estate store yesterday to buy working with brochures because we're low on them. And I got there and it's closed. And it's like, you can order. So I order. And the lady's like, are you standing outside? And I was like, yep, I am. She's like, okay, I'll bring them out there. Don't do that for your clients.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm outside. Anyways, I thought that was helpful. Anybody else have another one they want to go
Man,
over?
that bacon smells good.
I think these were good. Some good things to practice this morning. So I hope everybody got a little bit out of it. Meredith, I hope it was helpful for you to start kind of wrapping your mind around, what we do and how to approach these calls as we're starting them out. And you'll continue to understand how the drip part plays a piece in it after you call these folks if you don't get them, and what's next, which we touched on a little bit and we haven't really gotten into too far yet. So I hope that was helpful for anybody. Anybody have anything else before we go?
Did have a lady tell me that she wasn't answering the phone because she's been getting so many political phone calls. That's
Yep.
why I know some people aren't answering their phones, which I don't blame them because I've been getting a lot too. So
Every time I get a DC caller ID, I know it's somebody calling to ask for money or do a poll about something. So those things go straight to decline.
I've
But
legitimately not gotten one political one, but someone's got my number for like asking me about, the latest health weight gain or weight loss thing. I don't know. I keep getting all these different things.
I get Social Security too.
that's
Social Security one's a lot.
Social Security, fantastic. All right, well, I'll leave you guys with this thought for today. Presidents are temporary, but Wu-Tang is forever.
Oh, dear God.
You guys have a great day. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.